Yo, what's up, everyone? How y'all doing? Great to see all of you guys, man. Let's jump into this. All right. So, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So this was the move that we all took in the Discord. Making its way on up to the target here. Beautiful 1 hour buy on Cipher Matrix here. Remember, when you get this sell up here, you're waiting, you don't take the trade while it's in the bands, right? And you're waiting for the trend cloud to turn purple because, what do we know? We know we're in an uptrend, right? So you're going to get more signals on the other side of the trend, but the ones that are going to be the strongest are going to be the ones with trend. Same within a downtrend, right? You guys know this. So we finally got a 1 hour buy signal. Awesome. We also know that this was a range deviation play, and the target of the range deviation play is up at 121,700. All right, so the weekly just closed. Just let me. Oh, that's right. We cleared off our buy bid chart, so we can use that one now. All right, let's see. Let's take a look here. All right, let's get rid of all this stuff here. Nope, keep them. All right, let's look at our weekly. All right, so if you guys were here for the extra Saturday night stream, then you guys know that we were looking at this to be a fractal of, let me turn my spider lines off just for a sec here, guys. All right. We're looking at this to be a fractal of this, right? We were looking for, similarly to what happened right here. If you missed this yesterday, go back and watch this. But we were looking for this week to sweep the low of the previous week and close green, right? Which we did see, which is great. We saw a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. Still a thick green trend ribbon, still clearly broken out of the range, right? Still very clearly broken out of the range. Now, we were looking at a target of around 130K, right? Which it looks like, yeah, 125 is where our regression trend is sitting right now, about 125. Now, what do we know about 125? Why is that number important? Well, that number is important because that is our range deviation level on the 4 hour. Right? So this is how we got into the trade that we're in right now. Based on these 4 hour closes above our range deviation level at 115.361. And what do we know? We know that our range deviation to get above on the upside is that 125 number. So we close above that, we can make our way to 130K. All right. Now, some more sauce. So, yesterday on the Saturday stream, we were looking at our Bitcoin to gold pair on the 4 hour. What were we saying yesterday? Well, I told you guys that we had a SFP that led to a break of structure on the 4 hour. Now, a 4 hour break of structure is really strong, right? Let's go back. Look at the last time we had one. Last time we had a 4 hour break of structure. Now, I'm going to do a market structure stream very soon, but if you guys have been watching, you know that we're talking about external structure, right? Oh, as I say that and mark the wrong low. Okay, we're talking about external structure, right? Now, what do we know here? This was the last time there was a 4 hour break of structure. You guys see it? This was the last 4 hour external break of structure. What happened after that? We went up, right? So we've just done another 4 hour break of structure whenever we created a new low here and then we broke these highs. And what have we done since we broke structure on the 4 hour? We have gone up, right? We were looking at that. And what was this confirmation? I set this alert live in front of all of you guys at 35.71 for the invalidation of it just being a range deviation, right? Because like to the downside, we did have a range deviation, right? Just like over here. Right? Range deviation to the downside, no range deviation to the upside, pump, right? Same thing we just saw here. We have seen this before. We've got really bullish EMAs. This is the reason that I teach you guys this is because it's so important to be able to look at the chart and make a decision based on your TA, based on back-tested strategies, and not based on what you hear people say or a narrative that you read or something you see on Twitter or something you see on YouTube. Even for someone like me, you guys should be back-testing everything that I tell you guys, right? But I also promise to only share back-tested strategies with you guys. But a lot of people have opinions about stuff, and there's a lot of fancy tools you can use to look at stuff, but it's not going to change the chart. The chart is the number one thing you should look at, right? Everything else that you're using, you should be using to supplement your analysis that you're using on the chart. So when you see a 4 hour break of structure on something like the Bitcoin to gold pair, you probably should be looking at bullish plays, right? Okay. So we formed our little regression trend here. We cooled off and we tapped the bottom of our regression trend, and now we're moving up. As you can see, we've taken the first level of liquidity here on the 4 hour. That was sitting at about 119.5. Like I said, I expect us to have no problem swiping the liquidity up here at 121. If you are in this long with me, you should be taking some, like, you should be 50 to 75% out at 121. You could wait for 121.7, but it's only $700. I would be 50 to 75% out when we swipe this high, if you're in the long. Okay. Let's zoom in. So some levels to mark on your chart are the 4-hour order blocks, which right now sit at 35.22 and 34.88. Now it's possible that we just get a big move out of this. If we do notice something here, if you take a simple trend line, connecting it to the lower high after the structure break, we broke out of this trend line on the 4-hour and we've been going up since, right? Very similar to what happened back here. All right, wait, where's the break of structure high? Right, we broke, came up, then came back to mitigate, and then we were gone, right? But the difference is we didn't break structure here until over here. Whereas, like, we SFP'd here. I remember looking at this SFP, and then where'd we come down to? Right underneath the 200 EMA, right? And then we continued the pump higher. If we look at our market cipher here, the 12-hour, we were looking at this trigger wave on Saturday's live stream. Now, if you notice, we still have momentum open to the upside, right? VWAP still moving up, right? It's possible we get continued move, right? Look at the 6-hour. We still have momentum gates open, haven't clipped yet. RSIs are green, and look at how tight they are moving up, right? Now, since we back tested what happened on the weekly, we are aware that if it does play out like this fractal here, it is possible we just get one more week of consolidation. But with FOMC this week, I would say it's probably like a 70-30 chance that we get that, because most likely we don't. Most likely we get, I would say, probably the move up, right? I would say it's way more likely that we either consolidate sideways or we push up than it would be that we come back down to mitigate the range at this point, in my opinion, with the way that Bitcoin Gold is posturing. Let's see if we got anything longer than the 4-hour here. So we also have a 6-hour break of structure, which means we probably don't have a 12-hour. Oh, wait a minute. Wow, we actually have a 12-hour break of structure on the Bitcoin to gold pair. Yeah, guys. Okay. Lesson time. Look at that. Bounced right from the range deviation level. Guys, I hope you guys are starting to see this the same way that I do, because it's extremely profitable, right? Now, interestingly, the Bitcoin to gold pair is already coming up to the target at premium, right? Like, this is what we expect on range deviations, right? We expect them to hit premium. It's trying to do that already, right? But you guys should know how to trade these by now, right? And so that was another thing you could have looked at back here at this low and been like, oh yeah, I like how this looks, right? Because we came all the way up and closed up here, right? Came back down to 0.5 retrace and up and out. Awesome, guys. Exciting times to be in Bitcoin. Super exciting times. Let's look at our daily. We have a bit of a gap that might fill down to like 35.76. Man, look at these Heiken Ashy candles. Strong move. Hey, TF, what's up? Good to see you. Oh, we didn't say hi to everyone. Sorry, guys. All right. What's up, Cubanian? How you doing, brother? Bull Runner, always great to see you. Jillian, how you doing? Working? Good to see you. Andrew Cameron, great to see you, brother. Ricky Spanish, yo, what's up, man? All right. Appreciate you all being here, guys. Okay, yeah, so the levels to mark on the gold pair, we can move on from here. But this is just, I think this is the most important chart right now. It's kind of front running the Bitcoin break, so just want you guys to be prepared, as always. So 34.88 and 35.23 coming to sweep the liquidity. All right, cool. Let's go back to the USD chart here. Hold on, my dog, 1 second. I'm gonna get my dog some water. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and you guys all stuck around. Let's go. I have the best trading group around. One of them, for sure. All right. So let's zoom in. Let's go to our 15-minute. Yeah, this is normal behavior for like a range deviation. Also, just a quick note for everybody who has the indicator here. So you guys should be familiar with the strategy, right? Trend move down. Band flips, break out of the deviation band, retest the deviation band, buy the retest, right, for the move back up. Or you can wait for strength if you're a little trigger shy, right? Key level, indicator confluence, that's a strong buy. But I am proud of y'all because more of y'all took this trade this time than the last few calls, which makes me happy. All right. Bitcoin's continuing to push up. Now, if you guys are in a long, you guys know, as long as we hold in this deviation band, we're trending, similar to the short, right? If you're in this short, you're not taking profit on your short until here, right? Similar thing with the long. If you don't have a concrete target like I do, right? At least wait for it to fall out of the band to take your profit. All right. I don't see any weakness in this. I don't see any weakness yet. Let's look at our MACD. Slight bearish divergence, but not even a break of structure yet. Yeah. I don't see weakness yet, personally. Let's look at our 4-hour. More evidence that this is a legit cross here, right? Continuing up. Let's look at our 12-hour. 12 hours looking to cross. Look at our 8-hour. 8-hour, nice cross near the zero line. Yeah, it's looking pumpy, guys. It's looking pumpy. If we also just look at if we just take a trend line, right? We had a couple failed breaks, and now we've broken out. Man. So we haven't even made it to like standard discount yet. Standard discount would be like 120,100. So even if you're just looking to short like where you get a 1-to-1 risk to reward, we haven't even made it there yet. So looks good, guys. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you're long. Put a 2 in the chat if you're short, just so I can get an idea of what you guys are thinking. All right. Throw on my EMAs here. Hey, Philippe, welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you. JV, what's up? Woonhands, what's up, bro? Yeah, Cuban. Glad to see you pulled the trigger on that, man. It's great to see you here as always. What's up, Ned? Good to see you, bro. Man, it's fun to watch, man. Bitcoin's just pumping. It's pumping. All right, so without needing to go into all the macro stuff that we went over yesterday and Friday and before, we can just kind of look at the local stuff. So if Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin to gold did, right, which is flip the 4-hour market structure, that would happen at the target, right? That would happen up here. This would be where the USD pair flips 4-hour structure, standard structure, right? But we know that we're technically still ranging until we close a 4-hour candle below 115.3, which we have not done yet. So we know that we're still ranging. And the most probable outcome is coming up to premium because of the range deviation. Cool beans. All right. Is there any, if you guys want to look at any coins, you guys can start throwing them in chat. I'm probably going to take a look at ETH here. Let me see if there's anything else I want to look at on Bitcoin here, since we did just get a new weekly close. Yeah, it'd be great if this 12-hour MACD crosses, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 12-hour candles. Like, look at how strong these 12-hour candles are. Like, there's no lower shadow on any of these 12-hour candles. All right, like, compare that to all the other candles we've seen in this range. You can just see the perceived strength as well, right? Bouncing off of 4-hour support, bouncing off the 12-hour 50 EMA, strong candles pushing to the upside, right? Like, these candles look weaker, you know, inside bar candles, consolidation. These candles look very strong. Okay. Cool beans. Let's look at our daily. Oh, look at that. We got a nice, clean momentum candle on the daily that closed yesterday. We haven't had a momentum candle on the daily since, let's see. Now look what happens generally when we get these momentum candles. When I say momentum candle, I mean a Heikin-Ashi candle that has no lower shadow, right? So if we're looking at what generally happens when we get those, after like consolidation or dumping, right? So we got one here, led to a bit of a pump. We got one here, led to a bit of a pump, right? We got one here, but that was at the top, right? It's clearly, you can see that the environment for this candle in the reversal zone is different than like candles down here, right? And we had a bunch of bearish divergence coming into this one, right? We had a momentum candle here, a little bit of a pullback. We had a momentum candle here after a test underneath the EMA, which looks very similar to what we have now, right? If we're just looking at a fractal. So there's clearly momentum in the asset, right? All right, let's take a look at Ethereum here. Do I need any of this, TA? No. Get out of here. Start over. Okay. Weekly. Let's take a look at our weekly. Weekly candle closing strongly at the highs. Man, that ETH pullback. If you guys caught that ETH pullback to the 50, to the 200 EMA on the 1 hour, dang, that was the time to long ETH. Work smarter, not harder, guys. Okay. Look at that. You got Cipher Matrix buys, bottom of the reversal band, flips, trend ribbon flips bullish, off to the races, right? Underneath the 200 EMA. That's the first buy signal on the 1 hour since the price was at 2,400. Which gave a very similar signal, right? Underneath the 200 in the reversal bands, right? What do we see at this one? Underneath the 200 in the reversal bands, right? Uptrend, you're going to be looking and favoring the signals that are in line with trend, and you're just going to be riding the rest of the trend up. All right, so let's take a look at where our range deviation is for ETH. Let's go to our 4 hour. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I can already see it. Right? So to add some confluence to that level, right? If you take your most recent 4 hour high and 4 hour low, your range deviation was at 35.54, right? Now, this is the thing about altcoins, right? If you had gotten in on the range deviation here, with the close up here with the top down here, it did wick you out, right? But then it closed back above here. So you have to understand to open the trade again when it closes here. Right? because you have to understand that's a liquidity sweep. Or maybe you gave your stop loss more room. Great. But either way, right, the reason that we take this trade right, is because of the great RR, right? I mean, again, it's an altcoin, but it's still, I mean, to where it is right now, it's like a 3-to-1, right? But, okay, so the level to watch on ETH, right? So, look for a 4-hour close above 39.26. Hey, Jenna, what's up? Good to see you. Fecker, good to see you. Yeah, so what do? So we put an alert here, or we put our line here. We add our alert. We say ETH USD 4-hour range deviation invalidated. All right, we set our alert, and then if the 4-hour closes up here, we know that we're probably looking for like a mitigation and then a continuation because we have direction. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. Let's look at our weekly. Let's look at our weekly range. We're definitely in premium here. I like this pool. So we are in premium. So everybody who's wanting new all-time highs for ETH, you're looking for a weekly close above 46.28. Which there is weekly supply here at 44.55. But what we do, just so we're prepared, we set an alert here. Weekly range deviation invalidated. So close a weekly candle above 46.28, you're going to all-time highs. Now, just so you guys can learn again, how do you catch the bottom on ETH, right? Well, you can do it with a range deviation. When you see, and I know this is repetitive, guys, but it really is really important. So, I mean, you can also just, if you have Cipher Matrix, right, you can just look for it to go into the reversal band on the weekly. Really good signal. But like, if you don't have that, you can look at the range deviation, right? Stop below the low, targeting the premium of the range. That's an 8-to-1 trade, right? Now, if it comes all the way up to the top, 12-to-1, and then all-time highs, etc., much better trade. But that's how you catch the bottoms, right? Because the reason that this trade is so good is because if it closes below 1541 on the weekly, you do not want to own the asset. So the risk is really small, and the reward is huge. Right? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. And let's get the likes up to the watchers, guys. Let's go ahead and throw those likes out. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit on ETH. What's up, Adam? Good to see you, bro. Seeing a couple ones in there. All right. Heck yeah, guys. Man, it's just riding this channel up. Scalp City. Scalp City here. Alright guys, so if y'all were here for the Saturday stream, where was the Saturday stream? I believe it was like right here. What did I tell you guys on Saturday? I told you guys that if ETH is going to pump this week, what was your job? Your job was to buy underneath the 200 EMA. Do you guys see why I tell you guys this stuff? You had a nice little buy signal on Cipher Matrix here as well. Nice little candle of strength to get in on. Wicks Remember the strategy? Wicks into the reversal band, close above is a long. Stop loss the next reversal band. Stop loss the next reversal band, right? Right? This is why I show you guys this stuff, because I show you what's most relevant right now. So, should we continue to be bullish this week? Andrew Cameron put something really, really a good idea in chat. I saw it Saturday, but I didn't have time to do it. So what can you do? Well, you can set an alert on your 200 EMA, right? On your 5-minute. You say, hey, I want to be alerted when ETH on the 5-minute crosses the 200 EMA. And you can even be more specific, right? You can say, I want to know when it crosses down. And then you can say once per bar. And you can put an alert. ETH USD 200 EMA, or 5-minute 200 EMA cross down. So you don't have to stare at the chart all day, and then whenever ETH crosses this 200 EMA to the downside, you're going to be alerted, and you can look for strength to buy, right? You can look for, where's the last one? You can look for strength to buy, right? And then you can get in on this pump without FOMOing. So that's how you can set an alert to be alerted at these opportunities. Let's just really hammer this into our minds, right? Right? All right. All right, cool. Chill guy, yeah, we can look at chill guy. Sure. Underneath the trend ribbon is also a good bias, guys, if you like short-term scalping. You guys know this. It's in the education channel in Discord. Okay. All right, we might need to go over ETH on the macro one more time. I'm only seeing 4 ones in the chat. You guys need to understand this stuff. It will change your life. It'll make you rich. Okay. I can already see it here, right? Since we only got 4 ones in the chat, I'm going to have to go over it again on Chill Guy here. You guys see it? Anyone want to guess the risk to reward here? $16-to-1 risk to reward. Oh, it's not even connected to premium here. Yeah, 16-to-1 risk to reward on this range deviation play on Chill Guy on the weekly. Right? Oh, NASDAQ, get back up there, bro. Now, why is this important? Because on the weekly, if Chill Guy closes a weekly candle below 1.8 cents, 1.9 cents, you don't want to own the asset. So your risk to reward is really high, right? Now, it is a shit coin, so if you took the trade here, they would have wicked you out, right? But you would have got back in, and you would have made 15% or like 15 buy-ins basically, right? Trade 1% capital, 15% on your account after getting stopped out once, right? Bitcoin plays a lot nicer with range deviations, doesn't stop you out as much. It's great. Now, if you were still holding this trade, which I mean, 41 risk to reward, right? You've made 41% on your account with only risking 1%. I did drop a spoon, bro. Well, it was a fork. I dropped a fork, actually. Yeah. yeah, dude. But see, you guys don't need to risk big amounts of money to make high percentages. You just need to take high risk to reward trades, and you need to let your risk to reward play out, right? That's the way that you compound an account. You take high risk to reward trades, and you let your risk to reward play out. Which is why we haven't taken profit on Bitcoin yet, right? Because we're waiting for it to hit the target, so we get our risk to reward, right? And if you're doing that over a long enough period of time, and you have a decent win rate, you're going to compound your account. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on range deviations for now. Okay, so what did we see here? We saw range, initiation, mitigation, and now we're trying to see continuation, right? If you don't, here, let's put it on log so that it doesn't look so huge. Right? Range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. Now, the best part about after the SOS, when we see the backup phase, is that it usually only comes back to your breaker block, right? Or your decision demand, right? In the range, the order block that you put in before you break out, right? Down here. Or, I'm sorry, down here. Yeah. Right, this daily order block. And it's usually around like the premium of the range bounce zone, right? So if you had your range drawn out, and yeah, we'll get into like more micro TA on the asset in a minute, but I think this stuff is really important. If you had your demand here, right, you could have gotten in a trade and now you're up. Or you could have bought spot at 4 cents and now you're at 7 cents. Which is what we did down here, more locally. In Alex O's Discord, I was sharing the chill guy play of mitigating down here, right? Of this more minor after the range deviation, right? The initiation, mitigation, continuation. Again, screenshot this pattern because it will continue on every asset on every time frame, right? Weekly break structure or daily break structure. Come down to mitigate the range. Where do we bounce from? Decision block. Up we go. Right? Really high risk to reward trade. I think it was like 20 or something risk to reward. And we hit the target, right? Okay. So let's do your TA now. Okay, let's do this. Put a 1 in the chat if that made sense. Why? That's a great question, Adam. Let's address that real quick. Hey, I'm seeing some different people putting 1s. That's good. Nice. Okay. So, if I can stop fighting with my trading view. Okay, so why do we want to take 75% out? Because what do I tell you guys, right? Let your risk to reward play out, right? So if we hit 121.7, that's a 7-to-1 risk to reward. So you take 75% out there. What is that, like 5% off your 1%? So that means your next 5 trades are free, assuming you lose all of them, which you're not going to lose all 5 trades. Or even if you do, it's not going to matter, right? Because you let your risk reward play out on this one. And then let's say it goes to 130K, right? So let's grab 130K here. Let's say it goes to 130K. So that's a 17-to-1, right? So the 25% that you've left in, right? So what is 1/4 of 17? It's probably like another 4. So that's another 4% on your account from your runner, right? So you add the 5 plus 4%, you just made 9% on your trading account in 1 trade. Sounds pretty cool, right? Put an exclamation mark in the chat if you want to make 9% on your account, risking 1%. That's how we do it, right? That's why you take profit. Because what happens, you know what, yeah, this is important. I don't care about retention. The people that will stick around will stick around. All right, so here's what we're going to do. right? So imagine it comes up here and it hits premium, and then it comes down and stops you out, but forms another range deviation and closes here again. Let's say it does that. You've now given away all of that 5% that you made, gotten stopped out, and look, the trade's happening again, right? Let's say it does that, and it closes here. Let's say it goes underneath the 200 EMA on the 4 hour, bounces, and does a range deviation again. Well, guess what? Now you have another 4-to-1 risk to reward, or wherever the wick is, right? You have like another 6-to-1 trade, and you just make the same trade again. That's what we did back here in this range, right? So if you're looking at the range deviation here, right? You had your first range deviation trade here, up to premium, right? It's like a 7-to-1 trade, 6-to-1 trade, right? So you take 75% out, you just made like 4.5% on your account, right? Now, there were signs to get at that it might come back down, right? But let's say you just got stopped out, okay? You made like 4.5%. Then it does it again, right? This is just what we were talking about maybe happening here. It does the same thing again. And notice how Bitcoin doesn't wick you out on these. It's like way... I love trading Bitcoin. Okay. So then you get another 3-to-1 trade here. Make another... Take 75% out. You just paid like 2.25% on your account. And if you're still holding that trade, right? Then your 25%, you've also made another 2%. So by taking profit along the way, you made 10% on your account, right? Plus you make another, what was it? 5% there, right? And this stuff starts to add up, and you start compounding your account a lot faster. So that's why we take profit, because the target of the trade is premium. So you're going to pay yourself when your risk reward plays out, so that you can free up capital, so that if it does it again, right? Because markets are random, right? If it does it again, then you'll be able to take the trade again. That's why we pay ourselves. Okay, I will do Chill Guy now. Check it out, guys. Check it out. What do we have? Cross on the 4 hour. Where did we bounce from? Underneath 200. Also, bottom of the regression trend, right? So there's a couple ways you could have gotten into this trade. Could have gotten in on the strength after the bounce underneath the 4 hour 200 EMA. All right, you're already up 3-to-1. You could have put your stop underneath the range deviation, targeting the highs. 5-to-1 trade. Use the wick. 10-to-1 trade. Right? High risk to reward. You didn't break your strong lows. Right? So where are strong lows? Strong lows are going to be here. Because wicks can create structure, but wicks do not break structure. Okay. So our strong lows are at 6 cents. So even if you had used your strong low as your stop loss, right? It would have still been like a 5-to-1 to the highs. Remember, risk to reward is what's important. Okay. So again, bullish EMA cross. On the indicator buy signals, yeah, so you go over here. Let's say I want to be alerted every time there's a daily buy signal on Chill Guy. Right, bottom here. You would go to the indicator, you would hit add alert on Cipher Matrix, and you would say, I want a buy alert. And then you do once per bar close, so you don't get false signals. And then you'll be alerted every time there's a 1-day buy signal on Cipher Matrix on Chill Guy. Now, if you wanted to change the time frame, you could just select a different time frame here, right? Or you can go to that time frame and do it. But that's how you do it. And same with sell alerts. You can also do any alert function call, but you're going to get spammed. So I would set like independent ones. Okay. So the daily 200 EMA, so I would expect, so we already tested this supply. This supply aligns kind of with the daily. Yeah, I would expect that should Chill Guy come above the daily 200, you should probably take some profit. Not that it's going to break structure and go down, but just that it's likely going to come back to the 50 EMA. So it's likely going to pinch between these two EMAs. And if it can hold support on the 50, then flip the 200 and then get a bullish cross off to the moon, right? And this is a meme that's listed on Coinbase, so I'm sure it'll do well, right? Okay. Whoever asked for Julia, are you currently in a long from Chill Guy? And if so, where did you get in? Or are you looking for a trade? Or Jenna, whoever asked for it. Yeah, sorry, Jenna. Called you the wrong name. You're looking for a trade. Okay. So a nice little confluence for longs would be seeing this 1 hour 50 and 200 cross. If you're a little more patient, you can wait for see if I can find it here, right? Right, you can wait for them to cross and then look to buy underneath if you're a little more patient, or like, right, wait for them to cross, buy underneath. But if you're trying to get in more, let's see like our 15 minute. I'm sure the 15 minute already crossed. Yeah, so what you'd be looking for on the 1 hour is similar to what just happened on the 15, right? The 50 crossed the 200, and then you bought underneath. Also, I would set, now that we're in an uptrend, not a downtrend, right? I would set alerts, set buy alerts on the 15 minute as well for Cypher Matrix. Anytime that it's coming down to the overextension, oversold area, that would be a buy, like using the channel as your stop, right? So I would set buy alerts on the 15 minute. Nice little entries here. You can wait for a trend to flip for strength, but if you want to use like this as your stop, for example. Let's look at our 5 minute here. Yeah, 5 minute 200. 5 minute 200 is going to be a good bet. Like, look at how it's respecting it, right? Yeah, I would set 5 minute buy alerts too. Looks like pretty easy mode here, right? 5 minute buy alerts. I'm actually going to do this. I like Chill Guy. Yeah, I'd set alerts on the 5 minute Jenna on Chill Guy. 3 minute here. Yeah, 3 minute too. If you're scalping, I wonder how like the 1 minute works here. Man, I mean, if you're keep in mind, I don't know like what your experience is, right? But if you're scalping and you see something like this, where it's just like trending outside the band, right? I mean, you could have held this long all the way until like here, right? Or when it turns purple. You can also ride this. It's a little more risky. You have to know what you're doing, but you know that it's going to continue until it falls out of the band. And I mean, looks like that's a pretty big move here. Yeah, like 5%. Yeah, risk-free, I would look to set like, I mean, not risk-free, you know what I'm saying. But I would set like 5 minute buy alerts on it. That's what I would do. Hey, Hunter, good to see you, bro. Great to see you. Okay, let's see. CRV? Yeah, Bull Runner, sorry, I missed that you asked for that first. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you take a look at CRV. Just for education purposes, I want to see if there's a range deviation on the weekly on CRV. I want to really make this point. Oh, you got a little doodle here. Okay. I have a little doodle. It's hitting the weekly 200. Just be aware. right? Be a little aware. It's hitting the weekly 200. Be aware. Okay. Let's go back. Let's hide our indicators here. Yep, we did. Where did we break last? Let's see what we got here. No. Yeah, I like this pool. Yeah, it's not as clean though. It's kind of a shit coin, but we did have a little bit of a range deviation here. But I mean, you could argue that you might have pulled it from here because of the new low that was made, in which case, if you did pull it from there, it's not as clean. Yeah, not as clean. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. Well, I don't know when we drew this, but yeah, range, initiation, continuation. But let's see. One thing to be aware of is just that. Did we close above this? Oh, we closed on it. We didn't break it. Yeah, one thing to be aware of is just that it's fighting the weekly 200. Yeah, I would. This probably. I mean, it could go, man, but it's just like. Would you rather long a coin that's not hitting its head on a bearish weekly 200, right? It's just. It's like. Again, it looks like we had this 886 level marked. I would think that a weekly golden pocket or like bearish golden pocket retest flip at 886 would just be a way stronger long. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can turn the music off. I'm down. Yeah, so the 886 level or 866 level is just a stronger entry. Yeah. Let's take a look back at Bitcoin here. What's Bitcoin doing? Coming down to an order block. Sell signal, top of the channel. It closed out of the reversal band again. We could see a little bit of retracement, but I wouldn't really be worried until a 1 hour structure break. So we had, so that actually broke on the 1 hour, which is nice. But we had a 1 hour SFP, looks like a range deviation here. Yeah, so we had a 1 hour range deviation, about 119.817. See, look how clean that is. Great. Coming back down, the target of that is going to be discount here, 118.992. If we bounce from there, it's all good. The level to watch would be 118.579. You close a 1 hour candle below that, and you're probably coming underneath the 200. Swipe all this liquidity in these lows here. Tap into this order block, like 117.822. Yeah, so if we break below 118.600, then you're probably going to get like your golden pocket retracement, right? Retest this downtrend, something like that. It might just sweep here because there's a lot of weekend liquidity here. But you don't really have to worry about any of that until we lose 118.579. Now, it would be a retracement, right? So we're not expecting like a big, like another attack of these lows, at least right now, right? Because we did have that 4 hour structure shift on gold. Okay. Yeah. Like I said earlier in the Discord, you have your leftover supply here, so it makes sense for there to be a little bit of turbulence here, right? And we had a, no, that's not an SFP, that's internal structure. Don't be fooled, that's not an SFP. Hey, Aaron, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Yeah. Just chilling on this. I still think we go higher after a little bit. Again, 118's 800 is or 600 is level to watch. Well, heck yeah, guys. I don't see any other coins. We already looked at ETH Max, so go back in the stream to when we looked at ETH. If you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell. We're live 5 days a week. Join the free learning Discord pinned at the top of the chat, and that's where you can. That's where I post like more intraday stuff, and you guys can kind of chat with me. If you guys are interested in Cipher Matrix, hit me up on Discord. There's still some slots available for that. And as always, guys, much love. Trade safe. Way Cipher out. Love you guys.